We're talking about getting more traffic to your site today, and we're going to get to it pretty quick. I see some people are in the chat. Usual suspects. We have Wesley, Jay, Bonner, and Jaron and AJ. So welcome. And like I said, I think we're just going to get right into it today. So I'm going to talk about three main areas. And a lot of times people are looking for some sort of quick solution. And usually if you want to like boost your traffic, there's like not a quick solution. So that's the first thing you need to just come to terms with. Probably not a very quick solution. And if there is some sort of like fast way to get traffic, either it's probably going to be either expensive or risky, or maybe even both. The point is, this may take some time. However, I'm going to go over three specific ways that you can start getting more traffic, right? So a couple of them are around content. So on-page sort of things, one of them is on page. One of them is going to be off page, an off page idea, and off page SEO. And the third one is going to be something that it's going to take a little time. You may even get some traffic today, but it's not going to be like a huge amount. However, these all work together really well. So it's sort of a holistic thing that you have to do. You do some on page, you do some off or on site, on page, off site, and then you do some, this other thing, basically networking. So I'm going to talk about each one. And this video is going to be kind of a jumping off point. So I'm going to hit this stuff at a higher level, and then I'm going to point you into some other resources, other videos that should be helpful to give you like the details about implementing any one of the three techniques. So as normal, we do have the chat going on. I'm going to hop over there in a second and just say hello really quickly. We have Depeche, we have Sabtan, and we have Cool, Alwayne. And if you're asking questions, I'm going to politely ignore them for now. I'm going to come back to them at the end. If they are not related to what we're talking about today, I may just skip them all together just for today. So, okay, number one. Get to my notes here. So number one, and the thing is, like most of the time, people do have trouble getting traffic to their site, even if you have figured out how to get, content. If you have like 50 posts or 100 posts, or maybe you buy a done for you site. This is actually super common for people that are in my course. They have purchased a done for you site. They were promised all this great traffic, like $5,000 a month. And, a year later, they've done what they were supposed to do and there's no traffic coming. It's a great business model for people selling sites, but it's really tough on the people that are buying the sites, because if you don't know what to do, then you just don't know what to do. So as we are looking at the details, the number one thing that you could do, you can get started on this today. And this is like on-site work. So most likely you will get more traffic. You may move up in the rankings, but even if you don't move up in the rankings, you're probably going to get more traffic. So this is the thought of finding posts on your site that are doing okay already. Let's say they're ranked in the top 20 or so. And if they're ranked in the top 20, then Google likes them. Now, a lot of times I talk about publishing 1,000 words for a KGR article. That is the bare minimum, right? Basically, when people ask me questions, they want the bare minimum. And I think there are a lot of people who are just looking for the shortcut. A lot of us, if you're watching this, you're probably not looking for the shortcut, but you're like, okay, let's, what's the best way for me to publish as much content as possible? And then I'm happy to do the hard work, but what's the smartest way to do it? This is the smartest way to do it. So publish 1,000 words, see what's getting traction. Start with 1,000 words per post. And then if something's ranking like in the top 25, go ahead and double the content, triple the content, make it a lot better. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, it's a keyword golden ratio term. I'm not really sure how I can make it longer. I don't know what to do. There are two links to videos. One is on the FAQ method and one is on the RPM. Each of those are distinctly different. They're, one's around like just asking questions and answering the questions. The other is about deep research. In either case, you can do it yourself. You can hire a person to do the research for you. And what I personally have done is I would say create an outline for using the FAQ method for a particular topic. Then I can give it to a writer and say, go find the answers to these, write 300 words per answer. And then let's say you come up with 10 questions. You ask for 300 words per, and then next thing you know, that's 3,000 words. And it maybe just took someone an afternoon to like create the outline, hire someone, and then get the content back. Publish that on a post that's already doing well. The thing is, you're probably going to move up in the rankings. Maybe not super fast, but if you do that and you do that a few times for a few posts, that's a good thing. You will see more traffic to your site over time. Now, you're probably going to move up in the rankings because you're improving the content and serving the visitor better. The other thing that people don't think about is when you add more content like that, and especially if you're like asking questions that could be like long tail keywords that people ask themselves, that is a great way to just rank for long tail keywords that maybe weren't on your radar. Maybe they're not on anyone's radar, but in the context of the post, it works well. So if you do that, it takes some time to write the content or have it written. However, you can start on it pretty quickly, and even if you only do 1 or 2 articles per week where you're improving the content over time, of course that adds up, and typically you're going to get a better bang for your buck than when you publish a new article. Number 2 is backlinks. So this is the off-site SEO. Some people believe, don't worry about backlinks, I'm just going to publish content. But we do know that Google looks at the backlinks as one of the top 3 factors for ranking a site. And even if you don't want to build backlinks, logic tells you that all things being equal, if you have a site here that is, good content, plenty of posts, there's another site over here, good content, plenty of posts. Let's say everything's basically equal, which would be hard to determine, but let's say everything's equal. One site has backlinks, one has none. Logic tells us the one with backlinks is going to rank better. So backlinks do matter, and it's up to you if you want to pursue them. I personally believe that pursuing them is fine. So the link that I posted in here is for a case study where 6 guest posts were obtained and published within 6 weeks for generally a new site. I think the site was like 10 weeks old, because a lot of people, they doubt that someone would accept a guest post. They think, hey, there's not enough content on my site, I'm just getting started, and so on. Interesting enough, when I started like Niche Site Project, internet marketing is a very crowded, competitive industry to get into. And basically, I went out and I actually asked people if they wanted to guest post on my site. And then a couple people said, hey, I don't have time, but why don't you guest post on my site? I only had like 5 posts on my site. I basically had nothing. It was a fresh install, but I networked with a person, emailed them a couple of times. I was commenting on their blog. I was interacting with them, and I had, I was showing that I was a valuable member of the community. So yeah, sure enough, like if you go check Niche Site Project, I've done like a lot of guest posts all over the place. So backlinks, it helps. Now, as we're going a little deeper, I'm leaving out a large amount of information on like how to do the guest posting. But if I forgot to put this link in, but if you go to nichesiteproject.com, go to the Start Here section, I've revamped and updated basically the niche site process. I've separated the content out. So there's actually, if you scroll down sort of to the bottom, you'll see like a navigation menu kind of situation. And there's a section on guest posting, and it kind of walks you through the process. My templates are there, like emails that I would send out and that sort of thing. So if you're interested in going deeper into the guest posting, watch the video and check out the Start Here section. All right. Next, and I see there are some questions. Thanks everyone for asking. I'm just going to get through the content and then I'm going to hop back over. I'll answer your questions then. Thanks for the patience. Number 3 is to go out there and network. So basically, this is the one where you can start getting traffic like basically right away. So everything else, like you have to do like 3 other steps to get there. But basically, you can go out there and do blog commenting. Now, the key is there's a couple keys to this. So you have to be sort of broad in your search. And the video that I've linked down there shows you how I go through and like find blogs to comment on and then extract the like SERPs, right? So if you search for some string in Google's a footprint, as it were, if you use a specific like little tool that I show you in the video, you're able to pull that into a spreadsheet really easily. And then you can go down and comment on people's blogs. Now, the key is you can't do these stupid comments that I get sometimes where it's like, oh, that was a valuable article. Thank you, webmaster. That's not going to cut it, right? You have to actually like network and put in the time. Now, the goal really is to make sure the person on the blog like knows who you are, right? So I would say comment, 2, 3 times, 5 times over the course of a couple weeks. When we apply this like blog commenting technique, you're like, it's just a no follow link. Who cares? Well, the interesting thing is if you're in the right market and you're in the right niche and you're commenting on something, a blog post where the reader would actually be interested in reading your site, there's a chance you're going to get a little bit of traffic. And if you do this, say 5 to 10 blog comments per day for about 30 days, you'll be in great shape. People will know who you are. They will start seeing you comment on like their blog, other people's blogs. And usually there's a little bit of a community. A lot of times bloggers know each other because they're doing the same thing to get people to go read on their site. By the way, blog commenting is natural. So anyone asking like, hey, is this spammy? The answer is no. I mean, you can do it in a spammy way, but the trick is to not do it in a spammy way. So, read the post, write something smart, ask a question. And what you can do is the blog commenting will help you, make friends with bloggers. And then you could go back and do the guest posting technique where you're reaching out. And at that point, it's not like a cold email, a cold pitch. You're like a friend online with them. So there's no like friction, or there's less friction. And worst case, they say, you know what? No, I'm not really into doing guest post right now. But the thing is, back to the blog commenting, basically, if you have the right, if you have the right search string, you'll be commenting on blogs where people will care about what you're talking about, and they will come back to your site potentially and have a look. And if your content is good, then they'll read it, right? So everything works together. And, at the, step number 1 was like, improve your content, make it better, make it serve the users better, and you'll be in better shape. So that concludes the 3 steps. I'll do a quick recap, and then I'm going to go back to the chat. Thanks everyone for being patient. So number 1, improve the content on your site. Look up the FAQ method, the RPM. There's links in the description, so check that out. And number 2, backlinks. I recommend guest posting. If you want to take some other route, that's fine too. There's a lot of ways to do it, but I think guest posting is probably a way where you'll get enough yeses to keep you moving. By the way, you'll get rejected a lot, like probably 75 to 90% of the time you'll get rejected, okay? But some of the other techniques that, like broken link building, or just sending, an email and saying, hey, I created a really good resource on topic X. Why don't you link to it? Like those, I believe, at least in my experience, are going to convert way less because, people are busy. When someone sends me an email like that, I'm like, I don't have time to like look through your article to see if it's good and then add the link when, let's say I'm linking to a really great resource like Backlinko or neilpatel.com, and someone's like, hey, I just started blogging, I wrote a resource that's better than those guys. I don't know who it is, and I'm probably not going to take the time to read the 6,000 word article, just to be honest with you, to do them a favor when they didn't spend any time like trying to get to know me. Hence, number 3, network and be a nice person. It goes a long way. All right, let's go to the chat here. We have, oh man, I almost spilled the coffee on my shirt. That was a close one. Welcome everyone. All right. Okay, so Sabtan says, sir, I have started my blog on November 2017, but the site is only getting 10 users per day. You publish 8 articles, 1,000 words each. Keywords are on average 20 to 30 in the SERPs. What do I do for 50,000 traffic per month? Okay, so I would say a couple things. So you should make sure go to nichesiteproject.com and go to the blog section, go to start here, read all of that. It's like the length of a small ebook, but your question is a very broad one, and the answer is the small ebook that I described. But basically, at a high level, I'm going to try and at least be helpful. So you need to make sure your keyword research was on point. You need to make sure your on page is good. You're ranking in 20 to 30. So that, I mean, that's reasonable. Your site's fairly young. It's only, it's pushing 6 months. So you're getting out of the sandbox. And then if your on page is good and your keywords are good, then I would suspect that you should have the potential to, rank a little bit higher. However, if you're going after competitive stuff and all the other competitive keywords and all the other content that's ranking is like 10,000 words and yours is only 1,000, the 1,000 word reference point is not helpful. So anyway, I would say, Sabtan, be sure that you've done everything right from the very beginning. And at any point you realized you made a mistake earlier in the process, fix that and then move forward. Refer to Niche Site Project. Depeche says, does Google see Amazon affiliate sites as spammy? Not inherently. However, Google will see a spammy site as a spammy site. Mike is on, Duke is on, Barry, Josh, awesome. Good to have everyone on. Kind moderators, Duke, and anyone else in blue, like Jaron. Thank you, Jaron. Jaron, I got your email. I'll reply back later today. And thank you. I threw out the KGR, that is a keyword golden ratio. I didn't link to it, but if you Google keyword golden ratio or search for it on the YouTube channel, actually I have a playlist. It's really good. You should check that out. Josh says, on average, what is the amount of time you've seen for pages to actually get traction without backlinks and guest posts? And I'm assuming you mean or guest posts, and I don't know. What's the average amount of time? That's a tough one. I don't know the average. So it can be as soon as a couple days and it can be as long as never. So I would say a couple months. Give it a couple months is probably a good time to, see how that goes. All right. Duke says, have I tried the product manufacturer outreach method? No, not specifically. However, I have had that happen naturally where a few times where the manufacturer just linked to my site, and I haven't done this at scale, which I think would probably be very effective. Just giving the fact that, yeah. And Jaron says you started doing that recently and you got featured on a few of the websites. Yeah. I mean, these sites like linked to my review for them, like without me asking, and I just noticed them. So I think it would work great. Yep. And Duke is saying, I think that would be, a great link versus just a link from some other guest post. I think so. I agree 100%. I mean, the relevance, it can't get better than that. It's like literally a manufacturer, and Google understands that. Okay. Carl says, if someone pulled 10 products from an API tool, do they have a word count? You see high ranking pages without many words. I don't know. I don't you I mean, are you I think Carl, you come from the school of my friend Alex. By the way, I didn't mention it. And I know we probably have some new people on today. By the way, if it's your first time on a live stream, welcome. I'm doing a keyword golden ratio masterclass with my friend Alex at WP Eagle. It's coming out in about 12 days, so June 4th, and we're probably doing like a little event around it. So keep an eye out for that. Tell your friends. And if you don't know what the keyword golden ratio is, it'll be like a crash course masterclass in like advanced keyword research, and you'll like know more than most people. Like, because most people don't know what any of it is. But Carl, I have no idea. You've seen high-ranking pages without many words. Well, there's so many factors, so I have no idea. And your question is, if someone pulled 10 products from an API tool, do they have a word count? I don't know. The context of your question doesn't make sense to me. So if you want to rephrase it, but I would say more content is better. Like originally written content is better. All right. AJ says, if a blog gets more comments, does Google rank it higher because it has more interaction? Not specifically, no. However, sometimes what can happen is people will ask a question, and that could be an interesting long tail keyword that is now on the site. So if your question is, hey, can I like fake comments? And I'm not saying that you're asking this, but if I put comments on a site, or if I like encourage people to leave comments, does it make it rank higher? If there's any like impact, it is very small. All right. And Constantine, what's up? Good to have you on. Wesley says, the updates that I made to Niche Site Project look great. Thanks. I thought it was getting a little rough around the edges. So thank you. I'm working on it currently. And I think there are some like other improvements I can do. And yes, interviews with Dave Fox. Actually, I was chatting with him the other day. And when I get back from, I'm taking a few days off coming up here. When I get back, we may do like several videos, because he's been on the channel for a while and he has, a lot of like insight. I mean, he started, for people that don't know, you could look up Dave Fox interviews and see like over the span of like, I think 2.5 years. Yeah, roughly 2.5 years or so. He went from like nothing to like 5,000 a month. And basically, I started working with him before I came out with Five Figure Niche Site. And I had, a course, a framework really, that I was working with him on. And it was before I had fully developed and tested the keyword golden ratio. So he did all this without the keyword golden ratio, by the way. So it's very interesting. And then I was testing the KGR towards the tail end of when I was coaching him. But yeah, I mean, I worked with him over about 5 or 6 coaching sessions, much like Rob Atkinson, who's doing really extremely well. Okay, so thanks, Wesley. Rose is on. Barry says, apologies if it's off topic. Does the IP address have any influence on the rankings? You're hosting in the UK, but your traffic's in the US. I don't know specifically. Does anyone in the chat have info on that? I have heard that it does, and you should probably have it hosted on a US-based server if you're targeting like US traffic. But I don't know for sure. I've always just hosted in the US. I'm located in the US, so I've hosted in the US. I target the US and all that. Okay. So a couple other things that I can mention. Again, I know a lot of people like hop on for a second and bounce out. So if you're watching the replay, I should have said this before, feel free to leave comments. Please do leave comments. Leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. And this video is sort of like the overview of what you should do. And then I point you in other directions to get more information. So a lot of times, here's the interesting thing. There are like over 500 videos on my channel, which seems like so many for how what a low subscriber count I have compared to other people who seem to be not really saying much. It's very interesting. or at least not tactical. So it's very tactical and it's very tactical, but what I don't have is like organization around it. This is like part of the value of like getting a course like Five Figure Niche Site because you get the right stuff in the right order and you know what order to do it in. So basically like like Sabtan's question, you know, it's a reasonable question. You're getting some traffic, you've been working on it a little while, and you have a few articles and you're like, well, how do I grow it to, over 1,000 visitors a day? Well, there's about 100 steps that you have to do. And if you got, say, let's just say 80% of them right. Let's say you got 80 steps right, but on step 15, you kind of messed up on the keyword research. It doesn't matter if you got like step 16 through 80 correct. If you screwed up on that first part, right? Especially something like keyword research. So if you're going after stuff that is just too competitive, it's going to be really hard to pull it together. So the point is this video is pulling together a couple videos, actually several videos that you can use in conjunction with each other. And I'm telling you, you can, use them in this order and like do a specific thing targeting like more traffic. So, that is the purpose of this video, like organizing some things because 500 videos is too many to sort through. And I can't expect anyone to have watched, the majority of them or even more than a few. I know some people have, and I totally appreciate it. Thanks everyone. Like I said, there's the usual suspects on here and I do appreciate all the support. And potentially I've been whining more, I'm not sure. Maybe I've been whining more because I've received more nice emails that say, hey, I'm making, $1,500 a month and it's blowing my mind. And I was making $0 in November and I started using the keyword golden ratio. And now I believe I can do it. And, my husband or wife, they see that I'm making money now and all the time that I'm spending doing this stuff. They're like, oh, okay, it actually works. So I hope it's helpful to every now and then, like, hey, go watch these other videos. They work really well together. All right. Zach is on. What's up? Okay. So here is the thing. Any other questions? Any other questions out there? Quick note. I'm taking a couple days off here. I haven't taken a vacation in like 3 years or something like that. So taking a few days off. If you want to follow, well, what it's really going to be is probably a bunch of pictures of beer, maybe dogs as well. But I'm on Instagram, Doug Cunnington. It's not, there's no business stuff on there. It's just me doing what I do. So if you're interested in that, it's just Doug Cunnington on Instagram. So any other questions? I will answer questions here. And I'll just mention it again. Playlist coming out with Alex WP Eagle. It should be fantastic. We've been going back and forth, and I'm pretty sure we're going to do some sort of event, some sort of a contest to go along with it because I think it's going to be very big. Very big. So Wesley enjoys the vlogs. Got some more coming out. Yeah, you know what? Thanks for mentioning that. Yes. So number one, I actually was just loading up my camera gear and some of my stuff for this trip. So we're going to Newport, Oregon, and in Portland, Oregon, and basically I had a couple like vlog like sets of footage that there's no story. It's just like we went on a hike and I brought out the gimbal and the action cam and was playing around a little bit. So there will be a few of those. I just sent them off to my editor and I may try and do a few more of those. Wesley, as you know, I published a whole lot of content in a short period of time and I was a little burned out, so sort of pulled back. And now I'm like, okay, I've gotten a little rest. I've gotten caught up a little bit on certain things, like fixing up niche site project, like you commented on, and doing those vlogs are interesting. I need to definitely like think about the, the story aspect of it. So it's like, there's at least a little bit of a point. And sometimes it, I may tie it in. Actually, let me know, folks that are watching live or in the comments. Would it be interesting to see like, oh, like the morning walk and like me prepping for the day, like from a productivity perspective? It's like I want there to be some point. Sometimes it's just entertaining. Hopefully, I'm not. I'm not confident enough to think that just me walking around is entertaining. Try maybe it is, but maybe not. At least the scenery around here. Not today. It's like cloudy and rainy right now. But yeah, would people find it interesting where it's like a day in a life? I like sit down, I'm like, here, I'm prepping for the day kind of stuff. So if so, like those are a little bit more. And thanks, Wesley, for saying you enjoy the vlogs. Really appreciate it. Okay. Oh, and quick, there's some discussion on the US versus UK, and as far as the server location for your hosting account. And basically, it sounds like, if you're targeting the US and Webmaster Tools, that's a good thing. If you have a CDN, as Duke mentions, then, some of your content is being hosted worldwide anyway. So I think, if you are literally targeting like US traffic, having a co-located server is probably like better than, being across the ocean. So from that perspective, it's just going to be a little bit faster, and that's a good thing just in general. And I think I actually just opened up a new account with SiteGround. Really love SiteGround these days. I actually shot a video of me opening the SiteGround account. Just the customer service is so awesome. Technical support is so fast. It makes other companies that I've worked with look silly. The big companies seem silly compared to SiteGround. I literally like, you start chatting with the tech support, and they like can fix your problem in just a few minutes. It's very, very amazing. Okay. D card is on. Yokohama Life should be sleeping, but you're hired your first writers thanks to my video on finding writers through Upwork and the template on the site. Thanks for saying that. Good luck. Just remember, when you're hiring people on Upwork, or when you're hiring people in real life, things are not going to go like you planned. All right. So as long as your expectation is that things are going to get messed up, people are going to be confused, not understand your directions, you'll be in good shape. But if you expect it to go well, then you'll be disappointed. And if it does go well, sometimes it does go well, I'll be honest with you. If it does go well, you will be pleasantly surprised that someone didn't make a mistake. But generally, it's a little, things don't go as planned. So good luck, Yokohama. Get some rest. Okay, cool. And Zach says you'd be super interested in like the productivity stuff. Cool. I will keep that in mind, because I mean that is sort of the interesting stuff for me too. And while I'm just, people are giving me some feedback for the vlogs, or for, like, hey, quick day in the life. How long do you like the videos? Obviously, if you're watching this, like the longer form videos are all right. But if I was doing a vlog, is it like, 8 minutes, 15 minutes? Like what threshold? I mean, everyone's a little different. And some people are like, if a video is over like 6 minutes long, I really don't want to watch it. And then most of the people that I mean, my videos tend to be really long. Sometimes I'm tightening some up, like the pre-recorded ones. But I mean, if you're doing a live stream, it's like a captive audience. It's actually crazy. I mean, some people remember about a year ago, this time I was starting to do live streams. There would be like 4 to 6 people. Almost no one attended. Has anyone been around for about that long where you were watching some of these early live streams where, I mean, almost no one showed up, and I just kept doing it, kept showing up. So by the way, like, think of it that way. Like, when I tell you that, like, niche sites are the same way. Like, there could be a pretty long time where you're doing something and like no one's paying attention, and you just have to keep showing up every day, keep that head really shiny, and then people will start coming because it's a sight to see. All right, next. Amar says, you just want to know which countries you target in Amazon using one link. Basically, the US and Canada. Barry. Okay, yeah, good discussion, everyone, on the international stuff because I'm ignorant in that area. Duke is saying SiteGround is great. They don't have a plan between their shared plan and VPS in the middle ground, price wise. So you went to Cloudways and they've been good too. Yes, and you know what? I have a couple sites to get like a lot of traffic, and I need like basically the cloud hosting, which is like $80 a month plus some extra memory and extra cores on there, which you can piecemeal, a la carte, add stuff to the plan. So I think I'm paying about like 120 bucks a month for a couple hosting plans. And then I'm doing a podcast with my wife. I've mentioned this a little bit. We'll roll it out here pretty soon. And basically, like, I got the cheapest like shared hosting plan, and I'm not expecting a lot of traffic for some time. I could upgrade later, but there's no reason for me to get like a big hosting plan, a high capacity hosting plan if no one's going to the site. So and stand by, there will be more information about the podcast and all that stuff. So cool. And there was some, okay, hold on. I think there was a little, go to channel. Oh yeah. So Rose said, by the way, Duke accidentally deleted your message, but it said, you're with Fast Comet and they're amazing. And there are a few good companies. Yeah. So yeah, I think most hosting companies are probably okay most of the time, but like the support is really where it takes care of, or where they take care of you. And most of the time you don't have to use the support. And basically this is the story when people switch hosting plans. Usually, everything's fine for a couple years. They start getting more traffic, something goes wrong, the hosting company fails to give like support, where the person like myself feels like they took care of the problem or gave me enough information or were timely, and the hosting company fails, and then the person moves to another hosting company, because it's actually like once you do it a couple times, it's fairly easy to move to a new hosting company. You may have a couple days of like overlap where the DNS is updating 72 hours or less, and there could be a couple hiccups, but in general, like switching hosting companies is not too bad. It's like switching like cable companies. It's like a little bit of a pain, but it's not that bad. So all right, what else do we have here? Oh, Tom is on. Welcome from Baltimore. Amar says, Namecheap shared hosting is best for KGR keywords. You're using it and it's working like a charm. Okay. I use Namecheap for my domain purchases. So they seem to be a good, fair price. Okay. Yeah, if you enjoyed the video, it looks like we have about 30 plus people on. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the thumbs up. It potentially helps other people find it. And I'm trying, people probably noticed if you were on from the beginning, I'm trying to do the live videos so that they can maybe have a better like lifespan and have more people watch them. So I'm trying to like get to the point quick, like a normal video, kind of ignoring the chat, and then I'm coming back to the chat. So we'll see how that works. I'm going to have to do it a few more times to get more data, but to me it makes sense where you get the feel of the live situation. I'm giving you the 3 bullet points or 5 bullet points or whatever it is, and then we can have our discussion here. So I think that is going to work a lot better. Okay, so we have Bem says, do exact domain match work? They can work. I don't advise you to do exact match domain, but could it work? Yes, it could work, but that is a bad idea. So I would just, in Wesley saying it's old school, yeah, I wouldn't do that. I would point you towards nichesiteproject.com and go to the Start Here section, And then you'll be able to actually talk about that specifically and why not to do it. All right. Any other questions? Any other questions? And another thing, um, just quick advice, like for either on my YouTube channel or any YouTube channel, you you can go to the channel page. There's a little search bar in there, and if you just ask a question, particularly on my channel, I've because there are like 500 videos, it's really hard to sort through. It's hard to organize those, and even if they're organized, let's say I had a playlist that was like perfectly like organized, like to expect you to go and like navigate your way through is really difficult. However, that search capability really powerful. So if you just go to my channel or any channel, right? So let's say Income School Guys or the WP Eagle, Alex. If you go to the channel, type in whatever question you're looking for, chances are you'll get some good results. Probably the top 2 or 3 are going to be like what you're looking for. And then because YouTube works so awesome, right? You check out that video, you'll see other suggested videos that are tightly related where other people watched like the video that you're watching and then probably watch those other videos. So if you just search for what you're looking for and use YouTube like Google, especially if you're like, hey, I'm looking for Amazon affiliate information or project management kind of stuff. If you search on my channel for the specific question you have, chances are there's something that I cover kind of close in there. And then it'll give you a jumping off point to find a bunch of other stuff. So that is what I do, right? So if I'm looking at like Think Media and I'm wondering about some question that I have, you can just search directly. And I'm like, I know I want to hear Sean talk about that specific topic. I'll search for it there. And then I don't have to like worry about a bunch of other results or people that are like gaming the algorithm in some fashion or something like that. So hopefully that's helpful. um let's see. So I see. Okay. Hey, Sandeep, I didn't see your question before. You say, hi, is it better to target one main keyword per article? It depends on what you're trying to do. So if you're doing like keyword golden ratio type work, then generally yes. And Sandeep, the other part is I don't think about it that way. So I mean, other people may say, no, you should target 20 keywords or whatever. I don't know what other people say. I have heard that in the past though. But I don't think about it that way. I'm like, what kind of user, what kind of user is going to show up on the site? Like based on what search brought them to the site, and then how can I give them like the best information possible? So if you think about it like that, it doesn't matter how many keywords you're targeting. And if you think about it, like how many keywords are you targeting, then it's going to take you down a path of like, not like you'll be making decisions based on the wrong metric. So if you think about how to serve the visitor the best way, then actually I have a great example. So niche site project, I keep talking about the start here section. Previously, I was trying to rank for something like Amazon affiliate site or Amazon affiliate marketing or something like that. So I was like trying different ways to do it. Some of the things we talked about today, getting backlinks, commenting on blogs and, doing outreach in general, just talking to my friends like, hey, I've updated my site. I mean, it sure would be great if you'd link to it, that sort of stuff. People that I know personally. I also extended the content and created this beast of a post that was like 14,000 words or so. And it was really hard to get through. So I wasn't really thinking of how to serve the visitor the best. I was just like, I really want to rank higher in Google. So I ended up with like 14,000 words in a hard to navigate fashion. So what I've done now is I've thought, well, what's the easy, how would I want to see this information? And I would want to see an overview. And then I would want to see each of the, 5 to 7 sections broken out and have like a concise piece of information, maybe some demos and case studies within each of those sections. So that's what I did. And I'm like, you know what? I haven't ranked for a long time, and I'm not going to worry about it because it's really competitive, and there's, other areas that I could focus on where I think I can compete. So I'm just going to provide a really good piece of information, divide it up in a smart way, and then hopefully it'll work out. Okay. So Sandeep, you could use however many keywords you want. Wesley, any any wisdom on wisdom teeth? You're getting 4 of yours pulled tomorrow. Oh man, that is rough. I think I can't remember if I had 4 pulled. I think I did. But it was like 20 years ago, like right when I graduated from high school, I got mine pulled. Okay. Amar says, why is KGR only for 250 volume keywords? Why not 500 or 1,000? So here's the cool thing. I like that I'm consistent. So number one, if you search on my channel, there's literally a video on that. Number two, I created a second video, an even better video on that same topic, that will be coming out in about 12 days in the playlist in the Keyword Golden Ratio Masterclass. So Amar, mark your calendar, put a reminder, make sure you don't forget. The playlist is coming out on June 4th, and I answer that question in a deeper way. So yeah, you could look it up, and you should wait for the video to get even more information. Zach says, is a 5,000 word article too much? No, it's not. Beam says, can you realistically make $500 a month with a niche site of 5 pages? Unfortunately, the answer is no. So there's a couple things, and hopefully you won't take offense. If you're asking the question, then it tells me that you probably can't do it. So it's a chicken or the egg situation there. But if you're asking a question like that, I don't think you could do it. Is it possible to do it? Yes. Is it realistic for someone to do it? Not really. You would have to be quite skilled in monetization. And if you ask a question like, can I make $500 a month with 5 pieces of content? It tells me that you're not skilled, because you wouldn't ask that. Nothing personal, just some insight into questions. And there's a lot that you can see by the way that people are asking questions. See you, Barry. Have a good one. Evan just joined up. Welcome, Evan. Good to have you on. Okay. Suresh says, you've written an article with images and links to Amazon. You're using the link builder, the Amazon associate. You're following all the rules. Good work, Suresh. Can you copy and paste the article and create a PowerPoint or PDF file? Yes, you can do whatever you want. The question is, what are you doing with those files afterwards? So that's like the missing piece there. Bima says, yep, you're a rookie. Yeah. So what you should do, you shouldn't think about, hey, Bima, here's the other thing. Everything that I'm talking about is like, it's really hard. It takes a lot of time. And, since you're new, I don't want you to get the wrong impression and think like, hey, this stuff is easy, or you'll be able to do it quickly. Now, there are some very interesting case studies, especially if you study like the KGR success stories, of which like there's 4 people in here right now, or 3 people that have had interviews on the channel, and they're like, hey, I did really well. These guys and gals didn't roll out of bed. They were like, oh, that's what an affiliate site is, and then start making $3,000 a month or $500 a month or anything like that. Oftentimes they had, a few years of experience, or they were really good at, writing content and following a process, like that sort of thing. So everything takes a little longer than you think. And if you see videos, if you see blogs where people say, hey, in a month, here's a case study where in 1 month someone started making $4,000 a month, or even 3 months or something like that. Um, Guarantee you they are selling something to you, and it's probably a little fishy. So just look out. This whole industry is a little weird. And a lot of people are just out there taking advantage of other folks that don't know, selling some unrealistic thing. And basically, I mean, I think a lot of people would agree here. All the stuff I'm talking about, usually I'm like, hey, this is hard. It takes a long time. And, if you're not into that, then this is probably not the right channel for you. And I'm not suggesting that, but BMO, just look out for the people that are trying to take advantage of you. Suresh says in the follow up, which I thought was likely, but you want to upload to various sites like Scribd and SlideShare and whatever. So can you do that? I don't know. I don't do any of those things. So I would say, here's my gut feeling. Google probably knows where it was published first. In fact, they do know where it was published first. And if you have like a link back to that, it's probably fine. Google is seeing that's like it's a duplicate piece of content, yet it's being credited. It's not like a copy. Syndication happens, right? So if you look at a site like Neil Patel, funny story, in fact, and any other questions out there, just keep them coming. I'm going to jet here at the top of the hour though. So if you have any others, you got about 7 minutes to get them in. Basically, Neil Patel linked to Niche Site Project, a couple articles that he referenced, right? So Neil Patel links out to tons of sites. It's fantastic. He has a lot of links just throughout his content. A lot of internal links and a lot of external links to good resources. So he linked to one of my posts. Neil Patel is syndicated all over the place. I'm not sure how many like different sites syndicate him, but basically someone pulls the RSS feed, throws it on their blog. I'm not sure like what the benefit of that is, because people can just go straight to the source, but it's literally like reposted verbatim. He gets a link back to a site. But what happens is I ended up with a whole bunch of like exact match anchor text from like 30 different syndicated sites, and it caused an issue on my end. I got a manual penalty, and I had to like, I emailed people and I was like, hey, like this is what happened. Can you remove that link? Maybe like 5% of the people did. And then I submitted a reconsideration request, and they were like, oh, hey, like we see what you've done. I disavowed a few of the links too, just because I was like, I could clearly see this is like a syndicated site. So anyway, the point is, Google generally knows that it's published in the first place, published on your site first. Okay. And Suresh is saying to produce 100% unique content is virtually not possible. So how much duplicate content is okay? I don't know. You say you check with a site like Siteliner. So I would say check with whatever site that you're using and just say like, hey, how much is okay? I don't check. So I don't know. Beam says, do I suggest Amazon affiliate or eBay partner network? It depends on what you're trying to do. So if there's like a big eBay contingent that you're targeting, well, definitely go for eBay. So you have to understand your market. Me personally, I do Amazon stuff, but Beam, like you have to understand like your monetization method. So if you're targeting eBay stuff, eBay. If you're targeting Amazon stuff, Amazon. So, okay. All right. And then Beam says, why? You hear eBay pays more of a percentage. Okay. So Beam, if you want to do eBay, that's totally cool. Again, you got to remember what you're targeting, why you're targeting what you're targeting. But the reason why Amazon is probably better for most people is because people buy more stuff on Amazon. So let me give you a quick example. A lot of ClickBank products or info products, and they may pay 50%, right? Um, but if we do some quick math, if you get 50% of a commission, but you're only selling like one per day, um, that's a certain amount. But on Amazon, let's say you're only getting 5%, but you're selling like 800 items. You're probably going to want to go with the volume. The point is, people buy more stuff from Amazon than they do from eBay. So eBay is not opening up like retail stores and buying Whole Foods and stuff like that. So if you pay attention to like, what's going on, then logic will tell you that Amazon's probably a better choice if that is the market you're going after. So Beam, that's my answer. All right. Sandeep says, can I use KGR for the US? Yes. Duke says, have I noticed delays in Google indexing my new post? Not specifically, but I don't look that often. And if your site's new, Duke, if it's the one that's still in the sandbox, then that could be why. All right, got about 1 minute left. Any other questions? D-Card says you can share your content in PDF on other sites, but don't add affiliate links. And my main thing, Suresh, is, are you really getting, if you're getting traffic through the PDFs and like slide sites, but like if that was really effective, everyone would be doing it. And I don't know any of my peers that are doing that. They're like, oh, you know what? Like you get a flood of traffic if you copy the information from your site and put it on slide share sites or PDFs. Like it's kind of a waste of time, in my opinion. You know what? I haven't tested it, but the fact that no one else is like, hey, do that. In fact, the only time that I heard people doing it was like 4 years ago. And they were like, hey, go to slide share sites and all that stuff. Okay. So I think I made my point. Give it a shot. Test it. I think it's a waste of time. Suresh says you're using the Amazon Associate Link Builder to target the US as well as India. Is it good to use? I don't know. I don't use it. Next, the Amazon plugin is good. Oh, Duke is saying the plugin is good, but it's limited. So if you like plugins, check out the free version of Content Egg. And I've checked out the output on Duke's site for Content Egg, and it looks awesome. So I haven't used it personally, but it looks awesome. Beam says, you want to learn more from me? Where can you find my course? So currently I'm working on making the course available like on a more ongoing basis. Currently I do launches. The next one's scheduled for July. Tom says, you finally got to one of my live telecasts. Now, the sad part, Tom, welcome. Glad that you're on. I'm just about to leave. Do you have a question though? Do you have a question? And I'll answer it. Brian asked one of the most important questions, porter or stout? Now I'm an avid beer drinker. I'm a BJCP judge. It's a beer judge certification program. I'm actually pretty highly ranked. So the question is porter or stout, and almost, all good questions. It depends, it depends on what you're eating with it, or the time of year, for example. So maybe if it's, maybe if it's March, it's getting a little warm, it's around St. Patrick's Day, maybe you have a nice dry Irish stout. But, in the winter, maybe you have like a Russian Imperial stout. But then I also love a robust porter, really chocolatey, or even a brown porter, an English style brown porter. So it's hard to say. I like them both. And I could tell you right now, I think I have two pretty interesting stouts. I think I have one from Avery. I forget the name of it. It's not the Mephistopheles. It's a different one, but it's another one that's like 18-20% alcohol. It's a sipper. And then I have a KBS, which is cool. My wife got me that for my birthday. Okay, and Tom says, you're impressed with my work so far. You hope I keep it up. Thank you. You're still seeking an Amazon site, getting lost in so much other stuff. Um, and what have you got you want to hand over? Nice. Well, that is one of the hard parts. Like once you start looking at this sort of topic of like making money online and that sort of thing, you get overwhelmed because there are like 15 different, actually, even if it's just 5 or 6 different things where you're like, that totally makes sense to me. Like these people made it work. And you could relate to them in some way, Tom, the thing is, it is really hard to do. I ignored actually, I didn't get this advice, but I wish someone would have told me. I probably would have ignored it. Like most people are going to ignore me when I say this. Any one of those 5 or 6 things, they will work fine. You can do Kindle books. You could do, you know, affiliate marketing for Amazon. You could do ClickBank info products. You can do Amazon FBA. You could do drop shipping. You can start a publishing company for like musicians or whatever. Basically, any of the things will work. It's probably just going to take you longer than you think. And if you're working on like 2 or 3 of them at the same time, like I've done myself, it will take longer and it'll be harder to tell like if it's working or not. So my advice, Tom, is like just pick one. And I'm not saying you were looking around too much. You should just pick one and stick with it for a while. Of course, don't be stubborn to like stick with it too long. If you're like, I tried this business model and I hate it. For example, I had a service business that was doing really well, and it was, on target to do, a 6-figure, I think profit even. Yeah, it was doing well, but I didn't like having clients and I didn't like the work much. And when I fast forwarded, hey, what does this look like in 18 months? Would I want to do it? Like if everything was great and the growth was on target, is projected and all that, I thought, well, I don't want to have clients and have to deal with this situation. So I stopped doing it, even though it was working fine. And I'm happier because of it. Okay. So thanks, Tom, for the compliment. And last, Brian says you love the higher volume alcohol. I think that's what you're saying. And Suresh has the last question. What is simple and best way to promote a site? Blog commenting, answer on Quora for beginners? Either one. It doesn't matter. Suresh, I would push you towards the one that I mentioned today, number 3, blog commenting. But if you want to try Quora out, I know Duke, for example, had good luck on that. So if you want to try, I would say, pick one, do it for, 2 weeks or something, and then do the other for 2 weeks, put the time in and test them both. All right. JS says you're creeping out of the sandbox at 5.5 months, 30 to 40 views a day. Nice. 8% conversion rate. That is very good. And you say thanks, and you're looking forward to signing up for the course. Awesome, JS. That is good to hear. Congratulations. Hopefully, it'll keep climbing up. I mean, when you're at 6 in like 1 month from now, like you're going to like really see the growth, I think. All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a good few days. Look out for live streams, may do some random live streams. And again, if you want to follow me on Instagram, there's no business related stuff. So Brian, if you're asking about beer and some other folks that enjoy watching me drink beer or pictures of beer, that is the place to do it. So yeah, give me a follow over there. I don't have that many people on, so that's a good way to check it out. All right. Thanks, everyone. See ya.